Hey everyone, it's V. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are reading chapter 6, Good Tidings, from the book Prayer, the Art of Believing. Yesterday we went over chapter 5, Law of Thought Transmission. That chapter was quite long. However, it was jam-packed with information. So if you haven't already heard chapter 5 or any of the previous chapters, I suggest going to listen to them first. It's not really in order or anything, but it will just help you to understand the concepts that we're talking about. The chapters will be linked down below, and with that being said, let's get straight into chapter 6, Good Tidings. So if you're not familiar, Neville uses the Bible as a guidebook to life, and he usually pulls quotes out there and breaks them down for us to understand in a much easier, simpler way. So he started off this chapter with a quote, "How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publisheth peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation." And then Neville goes on to say, "A very effective way to bring good tidings to another is to call before your mind's eye the subjective image of the person you wish to help, and have him affirm that which you desire him to do. Mentally hear him tell you he has done it already. This awakens within him the vibratory correlate of the state affirmed, which vibration persists until its mission is accomplished. It doesn't matter what it is you desire to have done, or whom you select to do it. As soon as you affirm that it is done, results will follow. Failure can only result if you fail to accept the truth of your assertion, or if the state affirmed would not be desired by the subject for himself or another, if that person doesn't actually want it to happen. In the later event, the state would realize itself in you, the operator. The seemingly harmless habit of talking to yourself is the most fruitful form of prayer." This is a really important point, and Neville talks about this multiple times in his lectures and his books, that inner talking creates your reality. So quiet your mind and notice what it is that your mind is saying on repeat. This is why you hear others talking about the importance of having inner conversation and using affirmations to replace the inner conversation. You don't need to necessarily be affirming out loud all day long. Just replace your inner conversation, your inner thought, with what you want to be true, and it will externalize. And it's people like this way of manifesting because it's super easy. You're not scripting, you're not having to remind yourself to sit down and state your affirmations out loud. You're just holding the thought in the back of your mind throughout the day. It's like having a imaginary conversation with yourself. We are already on the daily, like we'll be like, "Oh, I don't look good in this outfit," but say you're trying to manifest a better self-image, then instead of saying that, you'd be like, "Oh, I look so good." Every time you look in a mirror, you would say, "Oh, I look so good. Oh, I have my desired body, or I have my desired face," whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. You say it to yourself. Whenever you see yourself in the mirror, or whenever you think about your body image, or whatever it is, like say you're thinking about a job, you tell yourself, "Oh yeah, of course I got that job. Yeah, I'm the best candidate for that job." There are so many different ways to actually change your external reality. You can do inner conversation. You can actually just affirm it. You can do mirror work. You can just act as if you already have it. You can use your imagination. You can feel it real. Like there's so many different techniques. The whole point is to reprogram your mind to believe that you have it, or that you are going to get it, or that you already got it. You can do it present, past, future, whatever sort of tense. There's unlimited ways to do this. But for this case, we are talking about inner conversations and the importance of having inner conversation. Because if you are affirming all the time and you're putting in all this effort, but then you actually take a moment to quiet your mind and you realize your thoughts are going completely against what you're saying, well, you're never going to get what you want when your internal belief system is that you aren't capable of having your dream job, or you aren't capable of having a raise, or your thoughts are telling you you look like shit and you feel like shit. You have to change that inner belief system. Back to Neville. The seemingly harmless habit of talking to yourself is the most fruitful form of prayer. A mental argument with the subjective image of another is the surest way to pray for an argument. You are asking to be offended by the other person when you objectively meet, because you are creating this thought in your mind. You are already mentally preparing yourself to have a fight or an argument with someone. When you go to meet someone who you already have a little bit of tension with, before you meet them, you're just thinking about all of the scenarios that end badly with them, like, oh, you're going to argue about this, or this person's going to argue with you about that, or they're going to tell you that they don't like this. Like, you're already creating all of the events in your mind before they happen, and then they happen. So when you notice that, change it around. It will change the circumstance, because you are projecting the arguments before they even happen. Does anyone realize this? Before you go into work, you already play out the whole day in your head, and then you realize it goes exactly how you planned it to go. You probably planned it like it wasn't gonna go very well, and that's exactly how it went. Or you assume that your boss was gonna fire you, and you're like, oh yeah, I knew he was gonna do it. Yeah, because you created that scenario in your head. So Neville is telling you guys to really pay attention to the scenarios that you are creating in your mind, because that is what will happen. And then you'll say, oh, I know it was going to happen. Yeah, I knew it was going to be bad. No, you created that. That's why it's bad. And you can catch that, turn it around, and have the situation turn out how you want it to turn out. So back to Neville. You are asking to be offended by the other when you objectively meet. He is compelled to act in the manner displeasing to you, unless before the meeting you counteract or modify your order by subjectively affirming a change. Unfortunately, man forgets his subjective arguments, his daily mental conversations he has with others, and so is at a loss for an explanation of the conflicts and misfortunes of his life. As mental arguments produce conflicts, so as happy mental conversations produce corresponding visible states of good things. Man creates himself out of his own imagination. If the state desired is for yourself and you find it difficult to accept as true what your senses deny, call before your mind's eye the image of a friend and have him mentally affirm that you already are which you desire to be. This establishes in him, without his conscious consent or knowledge, the subconscious assumption that you are that which he mentally affirmed, which assumption, because it is unconsciously assumed, will persist until it fulfills its mission. Its mission is to awaken in you its vibratory correlate, which vibration, when awakened in you, realize itself as an objective fact. So what he's saying here is, visualize a friend telling you what you want to hear, and that will have to happen. So whether or not it's a conversation with the friend that you want to hear, a good interaction, or you are trying to change yourself, or you want a raise of salary, or you want a better job position or whatever, visualize your friend telling you congratulations on that job, or congratulations on your salary raise. Or if you're going to have an interaction with someone that you don't want to have an interaction with, mentally hear him tell you all the things that you want to hear, versus hearing all of the negative things that you assume he would say to you. Assume what you want to hear. It's like thinking best case scenario all of the time instead of worst case scenario, because our minds automatically think worst case scenario, and we need to change it to think best case scenario, and these best case scenarios will happen, or even better case scenario will end up happening. Back to Neville. Another very effective way to pray for yourself is to use the formula of Job, who found that his own captivity was removed as he prayed for his friends. Fix your attention on a friend and have the imaginary voice of your friend tell you that he is or has that which is comparable to that which you desire to be. As you mentally hear and see him, feel the thrill of his good fortune and sincerely wish him well. This awakens within him the corresponding vibration of the state affirmed, which vibration must then objectify itself as a physical fact. You will discover the truth of the statement. Quote from the Bible. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. The quality of mercy is twice blessed. It blesses him who taketh, and him who giveth. The good you subjectively accept as true of others will not only be expressed by them, but a full share will be realized by you. Transformations are never total. Force A is always transformed into more than a force B. A blow with a hammer produces not only a mechanical concussion, but also heat, electricity, a sound, a magnetic change, and so on. The vibratory correlate in the subject is not the entire transformation of the sentiment communicated. The gift transmitted to another is like the divine measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, so that after 5,000 are fed from the 5 loaves and 2 fish, 12 baskets full are left over. And that is the end of chapter 6. So I hope you guys found that chapter insightful. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. If you have tried visualizing a conversation with someone and it went a different way, please try these techniques out, you guys. I encourage you to use these techniques in your day-to-day life. Maybe you do like your job, but you're having issues with your relationship or with a friend or whatever the situation may be. You can use these techniques for every single part of your life, and you will see results immediately. When you're visualizing, visualize what you want. Think only of the things that you want. Talk to yourself like you have everything you want. Be grateful, be happy, be appreciative. And seriously, you guys, your life will change 180 degrees. Your life will be unrecognizable. Anyone that practices not even practice because it's a law of the universe, but anyone that has an understanding of how things work and are appreciative and grateful, they will tell you the same thing. So there is one more chapter left. It's called The Greatest Prayer. And after that, we might be moving on to another book, I think. I've noticed I talk a lot over books, so we'll see about that. But if you guys have any book suggestions, let me know. And until tomorrow, peace and love. Take care, friends.